Over 45% of Gen Z men have never asked a woman out in person. Part of this is because apps have taken over dating, but also men today are flat out afraid. Men are terrified of rejection. And yeah, rejection definitely sucks, but you've got to be able to get back out there and keep going. That's just part of being a man. Today, I'm going to share a tale from the L train, one of the most brutal rejections I've ever experienced personally. And the point is so that you can see that it's really not that bad. Now let's get started.
Hey, it's Misty, and you're watching Touch Crash.
So I posted one of my losses, and it was a pretty spectacular one, but this one might actually top it. So this is another story from the old days, the 1990s, and I was actually about to go on a blind date that my friend set up for me. I think me and this girl, we actually met by accident, just chatting, and I mentioned her name to a friend of mine, and he was like, "Yeah, I know that girl. She's cool. You should go out and meet her." And he also talked to her, put in a good word for me. And the next thing you know, me and this girl were planning to go on a date. So we talked, we set up a time and date to meet, and I headed out her way. And I get to her house, and she comes outside, and she's all happy and excited. And then she saw me and she immediately frowned. So I get out of the car and I say, "What's up? I'm Mike." And she introduces herself. And I didn't really have anything planned for the day because I wasn't very good at dating or even actually getting this far. So I'm like, "Do you want to go to this place? Do you want to go to that place or hang out or whatever?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that." And she was basically just shooting down everything I suggested. So I was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And she's like, I don't know. Nothing really comes to mind." So then I am like, "Well, maybe we'll just hang out here." And she's like, "No, actually, maybe you should just go home."
Booty!
And I'm like, "Okay." And then she turns around and walks back in the house. So I sit there outside in my car for a while, like mentally trying to process what just happened. And then I'm finally like, screw it. So I start up the car and head back to the house. So once I got home, I was getting ready to call my friend to tell him how it went, but he actually called me before I could call him. And he tells me that he just got off the phone with the girl that I was going to go out with, and she told him to don't ever try to hook her up with someone that ugly ever again. He said, "She went off on you. She said you were ugly as and your car is trash." She said there was no way she was going anywhere with you. And it was like, "Bro, you're so ugly. A girl got mad at me for trying to set her up with you." And I was just like, damn, that one stung. And of course, my friends are savages. So they're just roasting me and calling me an ugly bastard. And man, they're just rubbing it in, making fun of me hard. Like this was a top 5 all time rejections. And nowadays, I think people will look at that and be like, they're not good friends. But that was a different time, and people just don't have thick skin anymore. I mean, we always roasted each other and called each other's names because I'm from that generation that's like, "Hey, I know 5 fat guys and you're 4 of them." So it sucked. It hurt for a few minutes. And then I moved on. I took the money I saved from not going on a date and went drinking with my buddies because they still accept my ugly ass. And they're ugly too. So we are just going to hang out and be ugly together tonight. So I tell these stories because rejection does suck, but you have to be able to make fun of it and move on. And this is why having good friends is so important. You need good dudes in your life that you can fall back on and understand that dating and women really aren't all that important. Now, honestly, who gives a shit if some chick thinks you're ugly? Sometimes you just got to take the L. And at the end of the day, her opinion doesn't matter anyway. That's just going to happen. You're not going to be everyone's type, and you might take 100 losses before your first win, but you got to keep your attitude up. When you start getting down on yourself, when you start getting angry, when you start blaming everyone else for your problems, that's when you become unattractive. And that's worse than being ugly because some girls are attracted to ugly guys. Some girls want a short, bald fatty, but none of them want a bitter, angry, self hating guy. So don't be that. I mean, it's tough, but you got to take your blows and keep moving because your attitude is always going to be your greatest asset. Anyways, that's it for now. So I'm out. You guys stay up and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, that's it for this edition of Touch Grass. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, but don't just sit and watch internet videos all day. You need to go outside and conquer life because you matter and you need to make every day matter. Now get off the internet and go touch grass.
Until we meet again!